So what we're going to do is talk about sequential statements with conflict resolution. I'm just going to fly through 5 or 6 of them and just get you an idea of really how to solve them. And we'll talk about a little bit about the whys, but mostly I just want to do a bunch of examples. Okay, let's go. So I've got this guy going here. So the first thing we're going to do is get a green pen. And we don't actually need to use the colors. I had a good question about that. You guys, it's okay. You don't need to use these colors. I just like to use my colors, but really it helps maybe your brain kind of think about what's going on. Okay, so right now, first thing I need to do is define the 2 groups. And that is essentially any 2 groups. Any group can't have the same 2 letters in it. So that's pretty simple. If you just follow that, you can't get it wrong. It doesn't matter where you divide it, that's how it works. Okay, so right now we're going to divide it right down the middle. Nice and simple, because it's really easy to see where the conflict is. C and C, I have 2 things beside each other. So I got my 2 groups. I got A, B, and C, and A, B, and C. Good. So my group rules are winning, so I'm good. So the next thing I'm going to do is define the group selectors, and it's the last thing. But right now I actually need to kind of start defining the sequential statement, and I need to write it out. Actually, you don't need to put this in the control statement, but anyway, I did. But let's just start. So now I'll put my divider in there, and then I'm going to define my group selectors. Now, we know the group selector is the last action in every group. In this case, it's easy. It's this guy and that guy. Easy. So they are the guys that get air. So the group selectors get air directly from supply. Now, everything else in this group, I don't need this red anymore. Everything else in this group is going to get supplied directly from the relay valves. Okay, now that I got my group selectors done, I want to continue. I always start here and I kind of move forward. Now, I know that this guy is going to go like this. It always goes like that, for sure, because it's a bracket. We know that's going to happen. We know that this guy's going to come down here and do that. That always happens as well. Now, the next step is a little different because it's the group selector. The group selector always goes to the pilot. It controls the pilot. Its function is to switch the logic of the relay, or switch the way that it is. It's going to turn this group off and turn this group on. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to run my pilot here, and I'm going to run my DCV in here. This is half of your control valve. This is half of the relay valve itself. I called it DCV. I shouldn't have done that. That's going to come down here. Now this is going to come up here and do this. The reason I'm doing that is because everything in this group gets its air from this guy, from the relay valve. This is going to come down here and do that because it always does. That's going to come down there and do that because it always does. This guy is going to come out of here and he's going to go into another relay valve. And that relay valve, it's not another relay valve, it's just the other half of the relay valve. And that is right here. So let me actually just come out of, I'm going to move that a little bit further. There's my relay valve there. That's going to go up there, and this is going to come out here and do that because we know that both of these need to have arrows going to them directly. Now, where do I put the push button before the first action? Well, the first action is these. So I'm going to put it here. I can just put it here because then I have some space in my diagram. So what's next? I mean, I got to go through, and you'll see that it's nice to do this checklist, because if you don't do this checklist, you'll lose something, you'll forget something. It's like doing an exam. Do it again if you have time. Okay, so now, does every single one of these limit valves have an arrow going down? Does it? Okay, let's just check. Oh, this one doesn't. Ah, okay, that's a problem. This one does, that one does, this one does, that one does, and that one doesn't. Or that one does as well. Ooh, I've got 2 of my limit valves with that air going down. First thing you do is you go back and you make sure that you did that. So in this case, where does the air go to get to here? Well, it comes from here. Everything in this group comes from the relay valve. So I'm going to run this guy over here and go up and go down. Now, I know this guy also needs air from the relay valve, so I'm going to extend this guy and come down to here. Okay, good. So now, my checklist is, do all of my limit valves have air going down? Yes, 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 yes. Good. Now, the next thing is, does every single action have an arrow going up? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I'm getting there. Now, in this case, because I'm doing my sequential statement with conflict, I need to make sure that my group selectors work, they're working, and that this here comes into my pilot, and that here comes into my pilot. Dude, I'm done. I can't do anything else. I mean, it works. Let's go to another one. So where do I divide this one? What do I do with this? I know that both of my groups can only have one of the letters in that. I can't have two A's in any one group. So what do I do here? So I can do this a couple different ways. Maybe let's take a look. Let's just ballpark it. What if I did this? Would that be okay? I've got A, B, C, A, B, C. Actually, that looks good. I'm good. But is there another way to do it? Well, let's say if I did it here. See, this is where we jump into the fact that it's a rope. It's kind of wrapping around. What if I did BCA? Oh, this one's cool. Dude, I could do that. If I wanted to, I could actually divide it that way. So we're seeing there's more than one way to divide these. I've got BCA, CBA. I have two groups. This is one group, and these two make up another group. So yeah, you got to think about this as kind of constantly wrapping around itself. It's not. We can actually start it from here and go to there and put an A over here. But I have to put the push button in a weird place. I have to put the push button in between here. If I had an A here, I'd have to put the push button there because my first action needs to be A. So we actually put it in the beginning. But you can see it as a loop. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is we'll do another one like that a little bit later, but I'm going to divide this one like that. Nice and simple. Plus, I want to show you an example where this one is actually the last action in the group, so it's going to be the group selector. So let's rewrite this. All you got to do is you got to rewrite it like this. Nice. Okay. So now I'm going to do my group selector. I'm going to do my division, and we decided that we would do it like that. Now, the first thing you do is you define the group selector and you run air to it. So in this case, it's easy. The group selector is here. It's the last action in the group. That's easy. I'm going to put, I do an arrow with my dot there in the middle of the circle. What's the last action in this group? Yeah, well, we know it's this. The last action are these. Yeah, it's not grammatically correct. So the air definitely has to come out of here, and it's got to go into a relay valve here. That's going to go like that. But essentially what's going on is that I know that these guys have to look like this. So that's going to come down here. I usually use blue for those. I will be consistent and I will use blue. Okay, cool. So now that I got my blue pen, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do that. Because I know that that's how that always works. And this is the last action. So that goes there. Okay, good. So I'm just going to continue. Now, I always tell you I like to start from here and go forward. So I'm going to start from there. I know this is going to go into here. Because this is the double, I go into both of those. Because it's a double. Okay, good. So out of here, out of this relay valve, you know what? I'm going to pause on this one. Everything in this group gets its air from the relay valve. And the good thing to do is all the limit valves first. So I'm going to run this air down to here. Now I'm going to run this over to here as well. Okay, good. I kind of got that covered. I think maybe that's a better way to do that because the last time I kind of jumped ahead. So out of here, I'm going to do there. And out of here, I'm going to go there. This guy comes down here. He's going to go to a relay valve. That relay valve, oh, goes to here. Check this out. Now, this is kind of cool because actually this is going to go here to my relay valve. That's going to go up to here, and this is going to go over to here and go to there because he needs air. And he gets air from the relay valve because everything in the group gets air from the relay valve except the group selector. Except the group selector. Okay, good. So pause, stop, and go through the rules. Okay, do all of my limit valves have arrows going down? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Do all of my actions have arrows going up? Yes, 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 yes. Do the pilots, does the air from the group selector go into the pilot? Yes, and it goes into the pilot. Yes, so again, these two make up a relay valve. That's one half of it, and that's the other half of it. Okay, good. We're good. Let's do another. Okay, this is a cool one. There are no brackets in it, but it's cool because it's kind of one of those that has two groups kind of spread apart. In that we know, actually we can see right away there's conflict there and there's conflict there. And if I divide this there and that there, I'm good. I've got one group of A, B, and C, and another group of A, B, and C. So I've got two groups. None of those groups have the same two letters in. So I'm going to rewrite this, and then I'm going to continue on. Here we go. Now the first thing I'm going to do is run power to all my group selectors. The group selector is the last action. This group here, the last action is this guy, so he gets group selector. This group, the last action is here, so he gets a group selector. Sweet. Okay, so now out of my group selectors, I'm going to go to my relay valves. That's my relay valve there, and this guy is going to come down here, and he's going to go to the relay valve here. And he's going to go like that. Is that how it goes? Now, you might have thought that that's how it went, because last time we actually had the group selector, we with the last group selector over on the right went this way. But in this case, actually, this next group, the group 2, or the other group, actually starts over here. Yeah. So you got to be careful about that. But, I mean, you know, again, it's just practice, and you'll see that. Okay, good. So over here, what we're going to do is go forward this way in the same way like that. Okay, good. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start from here and I'm going to work this way. That's how I always work it. I know air comes out of here and it goes to there. I know this is covered. Okay, so air is going to come out of here and it's going to go to there. Air is going to come out of there and it's going to go to there. I have to make sure that all of these guys, all these limit valves have air, and they come from the relay valve. So air is going to come out of here, and it's going to go to here and to there, and it's going to go to there, because everything in this group gets its air from the relay valve except the group selector. Does everything in this group have air going to it? Yeah. Okay. What about this guy? He needs air from this relay valve because he's in the group, and he gets air from the relay valve. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. So we've got a couple issues here. One is the fact that I need air to get to here, plus I don't have this guy. So what do I do next? I follow the rules. The action before this action, whatever action that is the thing that drives it. The limit valve from the action before that drives this. So the limit valve out of here is going to come over here. Now again, I don't need a relay valve here. I've got it over here already. Now the other thing is that this group, it's made up of this, this, and this. Everything in this group gets its air from the relay valve. What do I do? Well, I need to run air from here over to here and down. Did you see that? Did that make sense? Okay, so that one's a little bit tricky, but it's just a matter of looking at the fact that everything in the group gets its air from the relay valve, and pretty much you go from there. Okay, in that the fact is this group here is in the middle, but this other group, whether it's the first or the second group, the other group is made up of this and these, and all of that, everything in that group gets its air from the relay valve, except the group selector. And that is the group selector. In that group is the last action. Okay, good. I'm going to just check. I'm going to go through my check again. Do all of my limit valves have air going down? Yes, 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 yes. Do all of my actions have arrows going out? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes. We're good. Okay, this one's pretty cool. My question to you is there conflict here? I mean, there are no two actions that are right after each other. Is that true? Because we've got a B and then an A. So, I mean, there doesn't seem to be conflict here, but there is. Because how many actions are in this? 2. There are only 2 actions in that control statement. There's this action and that action. This action's got an A in it. That action has an A in it. This action has a B in it. That action has a B in it. So however you look at it, there's conflict. Plus, we know that the rule for conflict is that if the brackets make up more than a quarter of the whole sequential statement, there's conflict. So there's definitely conflict here because the brackets make up all. So here we go. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to make my slash here. So the slash actually goes in your sequential statement, but I'm kind of putting it there to help me kind of define things. Okay, let me write this out. Okay, my first thing is choose the group selector. Well, in this case, the group selector is the last action in each group, and well, the last action is this, the last action is that, because it's also the first action. So I know that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go down here. That's not right. Let's get a little dot in it. And this guy is going to go here, and he's going to have a little dot in it. Now, from there, I'm going to do this. I know that this is how this works, and that goes down there. This is going to come out of here and go there. Nice. So now, oh, whoops, I didn't put my divider in. So that's my divider. Nice. Okay. So what's going to happen here is that it's a little bit different, and I kind of like this. This goes into a relay valve over here. So this is my relay valve. And that's going to go up there, and that also goes over to there. This guy is the last action in this group, and he's going to go over to this relay valve. It's got an arrow coming out of it and an arrow coming out of it here to go there. And I'm going to put my push button here. Okay, good. And we're done. As you can see, the last action in this group are these. The last action in that group are those. That's it. And we'll check it. Arrow, 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 arrow. We're done. Okay, this is our last and final one. I think this one's pretty cool. This is one of those double ones where we have to kind of split it up a little bit, where we've got this guy going on. Obviously, that's where I'm going to put that slash because I've got a B and B. This guy is going to go over here. Now, just to note, you guys may be thinking about this, but you can actually make sequential statements that you can't solve like this. For instance, what if I put this bracket over here? What if I had this A and this C in a bracket? What would I do? That would actually cause some problems because I'd have A, C, and A in one group. So I'd have to divide it here, which would mean that I'd have to divide it over here, which would have a B and a B. So there are some times where you can't resolve these with two groups, and you have to go into four groups. And we won't have to get into that. We're not, that's pretty complicated. So and when it gets that complicated, we actually go to electrical control. Really, no kidding. So it's okay to be electrical unless we're forced in an environment where we can only use pneumatic systems. Maybe we're in an environment where there's a lot of chemicals in the air that are explosive, and I can't have any electrical systems going in there. I can't have solenoids running, I can't have limit switches going in, I can't have contacts, something's going to blow up. Or maybe I have something that's actually underwater. Yeah, pneumatics works underwater as well. There are some situations where purely pneumatic systems are required. Then we will spend the extra time and energy and expense to actually design a system that's more complicated with four groups. But we won't get into that. So let's just continue here and do this. Let's rewrite this down. First thing I'm going to do is choose my last action for the group selector. So the last action over here is this guy. There's an even more better circle. And then the last action here is this, because I know this is the last action. Okay, good. So from there, I'm going to do this guy, and I'm going to come down here and go over there. Now I can continue with the last action concept and then go into my relay valve. So I'm going to go to that relay valve. Okay, good. And I'm going to go over here to this relay valve as well. Okay, good. So now I want to run air to all of my pilots, or I can just continue going through like this. The way I like to do it is start here and move this way, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here and I'm going to do that. I'm going to know that this guy is going to control that guy, and oh, looks like, oh, not to there. I thought that was a C. Okay, so that's going to go there, and this is going to go there. We know that they both get air from here. Okay, good. All of my actions are covered. Oh, I don't have this action covered. This action comes over here and does this. Now I've got to run air to some things here. I can do a couple things. I can do this here, and I can run this over to here, because we know absolutely that everything in this group, this, and this, everything except the group selector gets air from the relay valve. So this guy and this guy get air from the relay valve. This is getting air from the relay valve, and so is that, because it's coming through. Okay, good. So now let's continue here. I need to get air. Oh, I didn't put a little dot there. Well, I would have lost a mark. Yeah, if I was marking myself, I would have not given myself a mark, because on the marking sheet for the homework, it says if there's a dot Yeah. So I have some people that don't put dots. Dude, I need you to be more accurate. Yeah, accuracy. Yeah, like I say that as I write a mess on the board. But you know, that's important, especially in your real professional documentation. The only thing that I've got missing is that this guy doesn't have air, and he gets air from the relay valve. So again, do all of my limit valves have air going down? Yes, 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 yes. Do all of my actions have air going up? Yes, 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 yes. Does the air coming out of here go to a yes? And goes to a relay valve? Yes, it does. I'm done. I think you guys are experts. If you actually walked through that whole video, I think you guys are experts. Now you can do your homework, get this concept in your brain, do lab 2, and we'll move on to lab 3 where we're actually do some really cool, complicated things. And lab 3 is all about this as well. Okay, bye.